This is Levels of Measurement by Salita Adams. The objectives of this presentation are to define measurement, identify traditional levels of measurement, identify levels of measurement in SPSS, discuss what nominal variables, dichotomous variables, ordinal variables, and approximately normal or scale variables are. And finally, we're going to discuss the differences between variables, specifically the differences between nominal and ordinal variables and ordinal and normal variables. Before we discuss the different levels of measurement, it is important to actually define the term measurement. According to Morgan et al., measurement is the assignment of numbers or symbols to the different characteristics or values of variables according to rules. It is important to mention the traditional terms used for the levels of measurement. First, we have nominal, which is the unordered level, for example, a person's marital status or type of car he or she owns. We have ordinal, which is ordered, scaled, or ranked, for example, a service quality rating. We also have interval, which are the differences between data, but there is no true zero, for example, the temperature on a thermostat. And finally, we have the highest level, which is ratio, where a true zero exists, for example, height or age. Even though nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio are the traditional and common terms used to discuss the levels of data, these terms are not used in the SPSS program. The four terms that SPSS uses to identify the levels of measurement are nominal, dichotomous, ordinal, and approximately normal or scale. Let's begin with our discussion of nominal variables. Nominal variables are the most basic or lowest level of measurement. They are the numerals that are assigned to each category, which represent the name of the category. There is no implied order or value. The categories are distinct and they do not overlap. The numbers that are used for identifying nominal variables must not be used in formulas, added together, subtracted from another, or used to compute averages. And nominal variables are also known as categorical, qualitative, and discrete variables. Some examples of nominal variables include gender, hair color, housing style, marital status, and ethnicity. And the example I have before you covers gender in the SPSS program. I've assigned the value of 0 to the male variable, and I've assigned the value of 1 to the female variable. The second term for the level of measurement that's found in SPSS is dichotomous variables. These variables always have only two distinct levels or categories. They may or may not have an implied order, and in some cases the same statistics can be used for dichotomous and nominal variables. And dichotomous variables are a special case and can be treated as though they are normal or scale. These variables are also known as discrete, categorical, or dummy. Some examples of dichotomous variables are survey questions, where the participants choose one from two alternative answers. And the different types of survey questions can be a yes or no, agree or disagree, for or against, good or bad. An example I have before you from the SPSS program is the yes or no type survey question, where I put a value of 1 for yes and a value of 2 for no. The third type of level of measurement that SPSS acknowledges is ordinal variables. In ordinal measurements, the categories are ordered so ranks can be assigned. There are 3 or more mutually exclusive levels or categories that are ordered from low to high. For example, ranks such as first, second, or third place in a track and field competition. And even though a person knows which participant is higher on a dimension, the, the intervals between the categories are not equal. The distribution is not normally distributed, which means that the distribution is often skewed. And ordinal variables may be considered ordinal if the ordered variables have only a few categories, for example, 3 to 5. Ordinal is sometimes used to include both nominal and ordinal data, and these variables are also known as ranks or categorical. Some examples of ordinal variables are pain level, which can be mild, moderate, or severe; classification level, which could mean that someone in high school is either a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior; social class or status, which means that the person or the participants can be working class, middle class, or upper class. And then, as I discussed before, there's rank, for example, in a pageant, where there's a third place, a second place, or a first place. The fourth type of level of measurement that SPSS acknowledges is the approximately normal or scale variables. These have levels or scores that are ordered from low to high, and these are at least 5 of them. Scores are approximately normally distributed. More scores are somewhere in the middle. There are equal intervals between levels that exist, and these are normal values that can be continuous. If they're not continuous, there should be at least 5 ordered values or levels. Approximately normal or scale variables are also known as continuous. They have an infinite number of possible variables within the same range. Interval, which means that order does matter, and the distance between values are equally spaced and meaningful. For example, temperature on a thermostat. Approximately normal or scale variables are also known as ratio. Again, the order matters, and the distance between values are equally spaced and meaningful, but there is a natural zero that is present. For example, weight. Approximately normal scale variables are known as quantitative, which is a natural numerical scale. And some other terms that are used for approximately normal or scale variables are dimensional and, of course, scale. Some examples of approximately normal or scale variables are the IQ scores, SAT or other standardized test scores, height, and pulse rate. The last part of this presentation is on the differences between the types of measurement. I already mentioned some of these differences early on in the presentation, but I just want to do a little bit of a review. Let's first take a look at nominal variables versus ordinal variables. Variables are considered nominal in SPSS if the variables have only 2 levels. Nominal variables also have 3 or more categories that do not have order, or they do not have a ranking sequence. Ordinal variables, on the other hand, have 3 or more categories that do show order, or they do have a ranking sequence. Finally, let's take a look at ordinal variables versus normal or scale variables. Ordinal variables have 3 or more levels that are ordered, but they have unequal intervals. The distribution for ordinal variables is not approximately symmetrical. Normal or scale variables, however, have 5 or more categories that are ordered, and the distribution is approximately normal. Thank you for viewing this presentation on levels of measurement. Any feedback is greatly appreciated and welcomed.